Hi, I'm Greg Travis, and you're watching The Red Booth.
Hi, welcome to The Red Booth Show. I'm Kimberly. On tonight's episode, I have an amazing actor named Greg Travis. He has been in a ton of movies, including Showgirls, The Watchmen, and the list goes on. And he's also a professional stand-up comic with a career spanning many years. And he has his own movie that has just come out, which he directed, and has a couple more on the way. So come and join us. Hey Greg, how's it going?
It's going great, Kimberly.
Hey, thanks for coming.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on the show.
Totally, this is exciting. I know that you have a movie that's come out.
I do.
And you've been working on it for like 20 years or something. Right?
30 years.
30 years.
Yes, this is my new movie, Dark Seduction, and it just came out on October 11th on all the VOD platforms. And it's like a detective film noir meets women vampires. And the vampires are in the 80s and the detectives in the 40s, and the two time shifts sort of clash and create a whole different world. So it's really a cool little movie.
Wow,
Yeah.
the 80s vampires.
80s?
So like Buffy
Yeah.
style vampires?
No, not at all. These are more goth, more
Okay.
80s, tough.
The dark
Yeah,
side.
two dark-haired women who don't mess around.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mixed with the
And they're
40s.
lesbians, so they're lovers.
Oh, okay.
It's a love triangle.
Oh,
The detective gets involved with one of them, and then that causes a lot of jealousy and problems. So
I wouldn't want to mess with two vampire chicks like that. I mean, you'd...
usually that doesn't come up.
Well, so this movie is a very interesting movie because you started shooting it way back, 30 years ago, and now you've taken all of these bits from the footage from back then and compiled it finally and released it.
It was my first feature film. I had done a couple of films in high school. Then I came out here and went to film school. And then I started doing stand-up. And then I started making these short videos. And then that led to being asked to direct this movie. And so we put it all together. We shot it. We did it. But we didn't have the money to finish it then. So it kind of was a slow process trying to edit it. And then we both got busy doing other things. And it even got put on the shelf more. And all through the years, I would come back to it and try to finish it a little bit at a time. And every time I would try to finish it, something would happen that went wrong and stop me. And so I never was able to get it done. And then it got lost for 10 years. And so I was like, oh my God.
How did you find it?
It's a really interesting story because it was lost with the negative cutter who had a stroke and retired. And I had to track him down, finally found him, and they couldn't find it anywhere. So after they looked 2 or 3 times in the garage where it should have been, I called my psychic and I said, is this thing dead in the water? Is it still there? Or is it gone forever? And she said, no, it's in a little cabinet in the corner of the garage. And I begged the guy to look one more time, and that's where it was.
What?
Yep, the work print and the negative. So she saved the day, and I was able to get it back and get it all finished. So
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people don't believe in psychics.
I know. We did a documentary on the making of called 30 Years of Dark Seduction. And I got into a big argument with the cameraman because he's an atheist. And he was like, oh, no one will believe this. And I go, it doesn't matter if they believe it. It's true. I don't care if they believe it or not. It's
Yeah.
what happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm
Yeah.
glad you found it.
Yeah, me too. Knock wood.
Yeah. So then you put this all together and you released it.
We've got it on DVD now, and it's going to be on all the pay-per-view channels like iTunes and Amazon and all of those platforms all over North America.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And I think you had a special screening, and I saw some footage from that too.
Right,
You want
right.
to tell us a bit about that night?
Well, we screened it at the New Art Theater in Los Angeles, Santa Monica, and that was the theater that started the Midnight Movie. It started Rocky
Really?
Horror and started Eraserhead, and these were movies that were in the mid to late 70s. They played midnight Friday and Saturday, and so that's where I saw a couple of those when I came out here in the late 70s, and I thought it'd be really cool to have a screening at that theater and do it at midnight to try to
That's so cool.
signify the the next big midnight movie, because I do believe it is going to be a great midnight movie eventually.
Well, this show airs at midnight, as you may know. So it's all kismet.
Good. Midnight meets midnight.
That's right. And on that note, we have to take a quick break, but we will be right back with the Red Booth Show.
I really wanted to put a deck on my house.
The floor was creaking and there were cracks in the wall.
I had them put in walls in my basement.
Well, the whole thing was done on time, on budget, and not a day of work was missed.
Alpha Structural is a top-rate company. I'd recommend them to anybody.
If you live in a hillside home and gravity is pulling you towards the edge of the cliff, I recommend you call Alpha.
It was a real pleasure to work with Alpha.
Have you been denied credit or hit with high interest rates? A low credit score happens to many of us, especially if you've struggled with medical bills, divorce, student loans, job loss, and more. And millions of people are victims of incorrect items on their credit reports and don't even know it. This leads to a lower credit score. That's why you need to call Credit Repair Pros. We'll communicate with your creditors and the credit bureaus to address unfairly reported items, late payments, collections, charge-offs, and even bankruptcies. And that can lead to a higher credit score. Our proven process has resulted in past clients seeing on average significant improvements in their credit scores month after month. Start rebuilding your credit score today. Call now to start building a higher credit score to help you get the things you want, like a new car, new home, an education, or new job. Plus, call now and request your credit report and credit score for free in minutes.
Call 1-800-308-7306. That's 1-800-308-7306.
So, you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So, pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. And all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. Independence U for an independent you.
1-800-464-6830.
And welcome back to the Red Booth Show. We are here with Greg Travis. How are you doing, Greg?
Fantastic.
Good.
Now that I'm here with you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Kimberly,
Thanks for
since
coming.
we're in sort of a 50s booth, cigarette?
I think it's really cool that you've done so much stand-up, I just have to say.
Oh, thank you.
I recently went to Flappers, and even a friend of mine who's so funny, he needs to be a stand-up comedian. Like, he's just hilarious. We made a dare that we would both try, if the other one did, to go up on stage for just like 4 minutes. Mm-hmm. And 4 minutes is even, quite a bit for a stand-up person that's starting out. Just starting out, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So
Did you do 4?
I haven't done it yet.
Oh, you haven't?
Oh
done
no,
it?
I'm completely terrified.
Oh, really?
I am. It's funny because when I do this show, I don't feel that way. But when I go and try to sing in front of a crowd, a small crowd, or do stand up, which I've never done stand up before.
Oh, okay.
But I think it looks so much. It looks like so much fun, and you
could probably do it. You're an outgoing, vivacious person. The hardest part of it is getting the material so that all the jokes are there, and then they're going to get a laugh, and then having the confidence to really deliver it and push it through. It's selling it, like anything else.
Like you have to believe it.
Yeah, you really got to know how to get those laughs and how to sell that material. Like I've had to do just about every show under the sun for every different type of crowd, and sometimes I get old people, and they don't laugh as loud and as hard as younger people do, and so I have to really sell the material and be super animated and jump all over the stage, and then they then they get it, you know.
Yeah.
It's like every show is a little bit different, you know.
Depending on the audience.
Sometimes when you're in a small group, all you have to do is stand in front of the microphone, or you sit on a stool, make it more intimate. But when you're in a big, like I opened for Cher one time, there was 20,000 people.
He opened for Cher.
He opened for Cher.
Do you believe that?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And we were in all
How
these
many thousand?
amphitheaters for like 20,000 people.
Wow.
Or sometimes we'd be in these like hockey rinks where the stands would just go straight up. And it was so weird because you'd have to throw out a line, you'd wait, you'd hear the laughter go all the way back to the room and then come all the way back. And you'd have to wait a long time before you said the next line.
Why do you think that was?
It's just the way it worked. I don't know. But the venue, it took me a while to sort of get the timing because I had to really slow it down, but still
Really?
make it big.
Because they
but
don't
slow
hear it?
it
Like
down.
they don't hear it in the back
It's
until...
just, they hear it, but the laughter went in the wave. And so you got to kind of wait till the wave subsides before you go on to the next thing. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So what made you start, like decide to go and do your first
I was a
thing?
magician first.
Okay.
When I was in school, I'd made money doing magic shows for parties and, you know, that kind of thing. And
Cool.
so I did that, and that kind of led to comedy magic, and that kind of led me to stand up, you know. And I started doing the Comedy Store and the Improv when I came out here to go to school. And 6 months later, I got a TV show and was on national television. So
Oh, what was that TV show?
it was called Search for Tomorrow's Stars. It was kind of a precursor to Star Search.
Really?
Yeah, and they had 2 comics, 2 singers, 2 of everything. We were all competing. And then the audience voted A or B, which one they liked.
So it was like American Idol or
A little bit of
America's
that.
Got Talent.
Yeah.
For that, yeah.
Yeah, for that time.
How exciting.
Yeah,
And
I
you
was
got
really young. I
voted-
was like 19. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I
Wow.
was like on TV. My parents were like, whoa, that was quick.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Did you grow up here? Or?
No, I grew up in Dallas.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I came out here when I was 19 to go to school. And then like all this stuff started happening while I was going to film school.
Oh, I can kind of hear your accent now. Just
Little
a little
bit,
Just
yeah.
just little bit.
You still got a little bit of your back east accent. Wherever
Me? Oh, I'm
Little.
not. No.
No?
Oh, it's because my makeup artist is from New York. If you heard me
Oh,
joking.
you were doing with
we
her?
were joking. I was doing a New York
Oh,
accent.
okay. Where are you from originally?
Australia.
Oh, I didn't
well,
get that at all.
Yeah, you can't tell anymore.
Oh, okay.
I was born in England, but I was only there for like 5 weeks. And then I lived in St. Louis, and I lived in Perth in Australia. when
Oh,
was
I
a
know
kid.
Perth. I had some friends from Perth.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
I actually have to take a quick break.
Okay.
But we'll be right back with Greg Travis.
I really wanted to put a deck on my house.
The floor was creaking, and there were cracks in the wall.
I had them put in walls in my basement.
Well, the whole thing was done on time, on budget, and not a day of work was missed.
Alpha Structural is a top-rate company. I'd recommend them to anybody.
If you live in a hillside home and gravity is pulling you towards the edge of the cliff, I recommend you call Alpha.
It was a real pleasure to work with Alpha.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it,
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got, or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. hot smoky? Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to the Red Booth Show. We're here with Greg Travis.
Now, you're from Perth. Now, Perth is on the other side of Australia, right?
That's right. The far side,
far
away
side.
from everybody and everything.
Kind of like Mars.
Yeah,
you're
but
really from Mars.
It is. It's basically like Mars, but beautiful.
Is it?
I guess Mars is beautiful.
Is it rocky or is it green?
No, it's green.
Oh, it is green.
Yeah, and the
okay.
ocean is the most bluest ocean.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I just did a movie called The Bornless Ones, kind of a weird little horror movie. I play like a kind of a redneck character, and this actor that I worked with is an Australian actor. And while I was doing the scene with him, while we were working together, I never heard an accent. He was totally American. And then at the screening, he's like talking like this, you know, he's like that. And I'm like, where did that come from, you know?
Wait, so like when you guys were cut and you're just like hanging out behind set?
He didn't break
he
character.
Stayed in character?
He stayed in American accent the whole way.
I've been in character since 1988, I guess, then. Well, something like that.
I think there's something about doing an American accent that's easier for British and Australian actors to get than it is for us to get theirs. I do believe that.
You think so?
I think so.
I can still hear your cowboy accent. I can imagine like a giant, hat on you. Do you wear those?
No.
Did you ever?
No.
Oh well, you should.
I was the only kid in my class that wore bell bottoms and like puff sleeve shirts.
You were like, I'm going to LA, guys. See you later.
Couldn't wait to
I'm
get out of
here.
there. They're all with Lee jeans and cowboy hats and boots. Everybody's cowboy boots. No, I'm not much for country music either.
Well, Chris Stapleton's amazing, I just have to say.
I don't even know who that is.
Well, there you go. Anyways, okay, so I wanted to ask you about, you did stand-up comedy for 20 years. That's a long time. You opened for Cher. You've done so many different things. Why don't you tell us a bit more about your career as a comic?
Oh, okay. Well, I wanted always to be an actor and a filmmaker. And so while I was doing stand-up, I kept doing short films and videos to keep my knowledge up and kept trying to get acting jobs too, but I was always out of town when I needed to be in town. So around the end of the 90s, or 95, I started to try to stay in town a little bit more. I kept going out to make the money, but I kept pursuing acting, and I got Showgirls. And then after that, I got Starship Troopers and a few other big films. And that kind of led me to a pretty good little film career.
That's fantastic.
And so as a character actor, but hey, whatever you can get.
Totally.
So far, I've done about 45 films.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's a lot of movies.
So the last 15 years, I've been doing that. And now I'm on my third act of my career, which is getting back to where I originally came out here to be, was a director.
And you wrote this too, right?
I did write it.
That's right.
I co-wrote it with my partner. I will give him credit. It was his sort of the vampire thing was his idea, and then we brought in the detective and co-wrote it together.
That's cool.
But it's got a lot of my really bizarre humor in it, which I'm real proud of.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a kind of wild movie, right?
It is, yeah.
People need to be warned.
No, there's nothing too bad about
No?
it. I mean, nothing that you can't see on normal network television today.
Well,
it's like, but back then it was edgy, and it's still edgy in a lot of different ways. But it's a pretty cool film, and this is my third movie to release. I did one called Night Creep, which was a psychological horror film in 2003. And then in 2013, I released one called Midlife, and that was where I starred in it and directed it.
Did you directed the other one as well?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So I've got 3 that I've directed now. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job. High five.
I'd like to direct you in my next feature.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Called I've got one called David X and the Island of Evil Women, and I think you'd be the good.
I would be so good
for
that.
You'd be the queen of the island.
I'm good. I can be evil. Like.
Yeah.
It's true.
Totally
it's true
evil.
to my character. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Did you write that one too?
Yeah, that was an older script we were developing for a while. Yeah.
That's great. Well, now you're getting to make movies and been in 45 movies?
Yeah,
Okay, so out of all the movies you were in as a actor before, what was your favorite one?
I really enjoyed working with David Lynch in Lost Highway.
Wow.
I had a part with Robert Loggia, and David was, one of my heroes. So to get to work with him was great. And
Yeah,
I
he's
loved working
just
with Paul
amazing.
Verhoeven and Starship and Showgirls too. He was amazing and a really, really good director. And then Bob Raffleson was pretty cool to work with too. He did Five Easy Pieces and King of Marvin Gardens, all those movies.
Wow.
So I got to work with James Caan in that movie with his, so it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we have to take another break. We'll be right back with actor Greg Travis.
I really wanted to put a deck on my house.
The floor was creaking, and there were cracks in the wall.
I had them put in walls in my basement.
Well, the whole thing was done on time, on budget, and not a day of work was missed.
Alpha Structural is a top-rate company. I'd recommend them to anybody.
If you live in a hillside home and gravity is pulling you towards the edge of the cliff, I recommend you call Alpha.
It was a real pleasure to work with Alpha.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it,
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got, or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire. And that could be scary. Ah, Smokey! Only you can prevent wildfires.
And welcome back to the Red Booth Show. We're here with comedian, actor, director Greg Travis.
Hey, I can do anything.
Dude, okay, so I just have to say, anybody who can get up and be in front of a huge audience doing stand-up is amazing to me. And making movies is fantastic. So you have had a pretty blessed life and career, I think.
I have. I'm very lucky. Nobody is ever totally satisfied with their career. I mean, everybody wants to do bigger and better things. And,
that's what I hear. No matter where they're
no matter
at.
how big a star they are, they feel like they have never done enough, or they didn't do that one movie they wanted to do, or there's always that. But I came out here at a very young age, and I was really determined to do something. I wasn't quite sure what, but I was determined to stick with it, and I think that makes all the difference.
That is very interesting, because I think that is the key.
Yeah.
I think that's really truly, after my show of doing almost 150 episodes so far, sticking with it. The people who are just like, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah. There was a lot of people that come out and go, I'll give it a year or two and see what happens.
Nope.
No.
You can't do that.
Can't do that.
No.
Because you're just getting your feet wet in a year or two.
Right.
You're just learning your craft.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time. I mean, I got a few early breaks doing stand-up, but it took me about 10 years of really doing it nonstop to figure out what the hell I was doing,
Really?
To get good, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, even though I was working, I was good.
Yeah.
But there's a whole craft there. Just the writing, the developing of the material, the trying it out, and then all the different characters and bits that I used to do. And
can you do one of them for me?
Oh man!
Come on, please. It'll be so good.
I can do a little bit of Marlon Brando, and listen, we're having dessert. Kimberly, do you like cheese and fruit?
Sure.
Cheese and fruit.
That's good.
I don't know. I used to do Jack Nicholson too.
Oh, really? I want to see.
Here's Johnny.
That's amazing. That totally is his face.
I had a joke to a friend of mine. He said, my daughter's 17 now. And I said, 17? I haven't seen her since she was like 16. I thought that was funny at the time. But
did he just stare at you like?
Yeah, he just stared at me. Yeah.
Very funny.
Never make daughter jokes.
Daughter jokes
for fathers. There's some reason that it's not.
It's the untouchable zone.
Yeah, it's like never just daughter jokes, Yeah. I always kid guys that have daughters like, "Hey man, how's your daughter?"
Oh no.
That's just like good. It's like taking a needle and poking them. They just go, "Oh, she's great."
Does that make them?
She just like threatened to kill me this morning, but yeah, she's great. My daughter's I love my daughter.
I have daughters also, and they're teenagers, and I love them.
Do they manipulate you?
Be
honest.
They're wonderful. I love them.
Yeah, sure,
yes,
she does.
I do love them very much, actually.
In a motherly kind of way.
In a very motherly way.
Yeah.
But I think everyone goes through their teenage years, and it's hilarious and wonderful and, crazy, and it's just the way it is.
What's the way it is?
You know exactly the way.
Okay. No, I don't have any daughters.
You want to fight?
Yeah, come on.
We're gonna fight.
Come on, Kimberly. Tell me about your daughters. No, I'm kidding. It's your show. You talk.
No, you talk.
No. Yeah, I mean, there's there's a lot going on. I mean, with all of the social media and people, texting while they're on the freeway with their phones. I thought of a funny shot on the way over here. We should put a typewriter on the dashboard and show somebody trying to type on the typewriter while they're driving, because that's basically what it is.
Oh my God, it's true.
It's crazy.
It's worse than talking on your phone, I think.
Oh, much worse, because you can
they made
drive
that
and
illegal.
talk.
And now it's illegal tech. People are like, oh, I can't talk on my phone, so I'm going to text.
Yeah, exactly.
But
no hindsight,
many people
foresight, you know? Yeah.
So we're getting close to the end of the show.
Okay.
We're running out of time. But I have really enjoyed having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I enjoyed being there.
Thank you so much.
Being here. Yeah.
I'm happy you're here too. People
Find
need to
my
go
movie,
check this
Dark
out.
Seduction.
Yes,
Yay.
Dark Seduction. And I love film noir, and I think it's really funny that you made it into a comedy too.
Shot on black and white film too.
Wow. And I don't even know how you deal with film anymore.
It's watch my documentary 30 Years of Dark Seduction. I talk about that. It's on YouTube. 30 Years of Dark Seduction.
Okay, yeah, go check that out, and you can find out about his new movie, and then also go find it online. So thanks again for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much for watching Greg Travis on
The Red Booth.